Hi class, Mr. Stumple here. Today we're going to talk about your second bridge design challenge, and this is again using the Bridge Designer software. If you haven't downloaded and used that software, go back to the lesson on 413 and I give you a video walkthrough about how to download and get that software installed. So let's jump right in. Today we're talking about both tension and compression and how they can be useful and harmful when you're designing a bridge. These are forces that are going to happen on a bridge just because of gravity and forces of loads and other things. So it's useful when you're designing a bridge to put those forces to use as they counteract each other on specific beams to keep the bridge in place, and also to take care to look at those forces so that understanding that they become too much, that the bridge will break. So let's talk about how these things are both harmful and useful. Bridges use both tension and compression in a useful way. So for instance, this red beam right here is under compression. It's being pushed down by these blue beams here that are holding the bridge up in turn, right? So it's being pushed down. It's got to have a lot of strength to be able to be pushed straight down. And so it's designed that way. It's designed to be able to be under compression. And these here are designed to be able to be under tension because then they're holding the bridge up, right? So those kind of work together. If they're not working together, if this one's not under a little bit of tension or if this one's not under some compression, then the whole system fails. So that's the useful way that tension and compression are used. And the harmful way is if there's too much tension or compression for the design. So if you have too much compression, then things start to bend and break. If you have too much tension, then things start to crack and pull apart. So, like we said before, beams are working together. This bridge is designed so that some of the beams will hold more compression and some of the beams will hold more tension. And so as a bridge designer, you make them so that they will hold the type of force that you expect them to hold. Now, some beams that we're going to look at today, like these two right here on the edge, are both under tension and compression, depending on where the truck is on the bridge. So we'll take a look at that during the simulation. So what I want you to do today is design a bridge, and I'm going to ask you to use a specific template. Use the suspension bridge. It's the first one in the template list whenever you're using the software. And I want you to notice again specific beams. Specifically this one right here, and it's number 1 on the beam list. And the one right next to it right here is number 43 on the beam list. So as you're running your load test, look at those beams and watch how they change from red to blue. So you'll see that they're both under compression and tension. And then I want you to break these guys. So I want you to break these beams without modifying these beams. Right? So you're going to modify the beams around it. Sometimes it's helpful to modify even a beam all the way over on the other side of the bridge. I want you to break these beams without changing them so that you can see the interaction between these other beams and what happens to these beams. Right? So if these beams are under compression, changing these beams here will change the amount of compression that's on those beams that you're targeting, and sometimes changing it will change the tension as well on those beams that you're targeting. And I want you to try to break them using compression first, because compression is honestly the easier one. You can break them using tension, but it takes a lot of work and a lot of changes, and it's not super easy to do. You have to focus on beams over here instead of beams over here to change it with compression, or to break them with compression rather. So if you're not sure about how to do that or how to set it up, I put a walkthrough up on YouTube. The link is also on this assignment, so you can take a look at that. And then, of course, I want you to turn something in. So what I want you to turn is a screenshot of your bridge with its broken beams. So I have a screenshot up on the assignment as well. You can see mine that's broken. And once again, do it with compression and turn that in. And then if you have time and you want to mess around with it, try to do it with tension. But compression is really the one that we should focus on because it's the one that's kind of easier to do. So good luck, and I hope to see you all on the conference call soon.